Okay, I've been on Finance Committee for 3 years now, so I've seen the process that it takes to get clubs. They have to be registered with Student Affairs as a Rose-Hulman club, and I believe they have to be a Rose-Hulman club for 1 quarter, and then they can apply to be a probationary club through SGA, and then they can get probationary club standing and a smaller budget, and then after that period they can apply to become a full SGA club. So that process is kind of lengthy. I understand that the Student Affairs part of that, just being a Student Affairs Rose-Hulman club, you don't get a budget from SGA, but anyone at Rose-Hulman is allowed to come to Senate and ask for money. Anyone can ask for money for anything. And so I think that we should reach out to these clubs and explain to them their rights, and if they would like to have an event so that they can have enough people that they can start being a probationary club, I think Senate is generally open to starting clubs that have a lot of support like that. So I feel like Senate should be educated, and these clubs should be educated that they can come forward to Senate and ask for help, because I don't think anybody wants to see their club die before it even starts. And with Finance Committee, every year we do go through, and any clubs that aren't relevant, that haven't submitted a budget or they don't do anything, we prune them out. I think 6 clubs just disappeared last year, so those clubs just went away. They weren't given a budget, and the clubs do come and they pitch themselves. They say what they've done over the last year, how many members they have on a regular basis, how many members come to their meetings, and if 3 kids come to this club, then it's not really reasonable for them to get a very large budget, so they do have to do that. And so perhaps if they're not pleased with the Finance Committee's recommendations, they can come to Senate and plead their case and say that they deserve more money or they need more money for their actions.
Okay, well, so I think that there is a problem with how it's working now as far as the budgeting and how clubs are, I guess, kept in check with student involvement. So I think that we make a budget for the entire year, and then the club has to stick to that budget. I know this from working on as the climbing club president, and this creates problems as like specifically the climbing club has membership that fluctuates dramatically. We have anywhere from 25 people to, I think the most we've had is 70 people climb in a single weekend, and so each of those people has to pay $10 for a pass and then gas reimbursement. And there's a lot of variables that go into that that's directly proportional to the membership in that club. And so I think that quarterly we should revisit this budget that we've made for the entire year, and we should have to submit I guess a roster of participants. Every club should have to say who's participated and who's benefited from what's been going on in this club and what we've been doing with this money in the club, and we should have to be able to almost itemize, those dollars that we spent in this club, how were they spent, across these people who have participated. And so I think that's how we need to kind of hold these clubs accountable is, you need to prove that you have a student involvement that is, proportional to the amount of money that you're getting, and that you're using this money efficiently and effectively to benefit those students.
Okay, Vic? So yeah, I know it does suck that it takes a long time to get a club started. I mean, there's the student affairs part, and then there's our part. Fortunately, that does kind of make sure the club is ready to go. By that, if you're going through all that, your club's going to be efficient. But at the same time, I think maybe we should have something to help these clubs get started. Maybe we hold a meeting once a quarter. If you're interested in starting a club, you come here. Whoever the president is will sit down and explain it to you. I think if that's explained to a lot of students, then they'll find it's easier to start up a club. And then as far as holding clubs accountable, that's with the whole idea of getting a quarterly report from every club. I mean, if we know what they're doing, we sit down at the end of the year, we can evaluate that club. And then as far as clubs running out of money or using too much money, you find that it's really easy to adjust your budget with the Senate. Let's say you want to do something different, you bring a reallocation request to the treasurer. You need more money, you come request for money. And then at the end of the year, let's say a club does shrink in size and they don't spend all that money comes right back to SGA. So I think the funding is more of just the clubs knowing how to use it properly. And if they do, then I feel like there won't really be any issues with the club running out of money or having too much.
Okay, Greg?
Yeah, I agree. The funding on startup is definitely an issue, though I agree with Nick that it is a pain that it takes a long time to start a club up, but that also provides all the clubs with like more stability. You don't want a club to fail just as fast as it started, just because there is only a few members interested for a short period of time. But and then I do think it's important that the clubs justify themselves staying a club and getting the budgets that they want every year. Like climbing club stuff can change pretty dramatically in a year. That I think usually is just fine.